There comes a unique moment in a man's journey when something inside him awakens. It's not just physical attraction, it's not just casual interest, it's something much deeper that stirs emotional foundations he didn't even know he had. Napoleon Hill, in his studies of the human mind, taught us that our thoughts shape our reality, and this applies magnificently to the process of falling in love. When a man is truly falling in love, he begins to ask questions that reveal an internal transformation. These are not superficial questions about hobbies or preferences, but inquiries born from a genuine desire to understand the essence of the woman who is awakening something special in his heart. These questions are like windows opening into his soul, allowing you to glimpse an emotional territory that perhaps even he didn't fully know existed. The first category of these special questions revolves around her dreams and aspirations. He asks, "What truly makes you happy?" Or "What is your biggest dream?" But pay close attention. It's not the question itself that reveals his state of mind, but the way he asks it, the attentive silence that follows your answer, the sparkle in his eyes as you share your passions. He is not just mapping out what you like, but trying to understand how he can be a part of that world of your dreams. This moment represents an awakening of the masculine consciousness. For years, perhaps decades, he has lived focused on external goals, career achievements, recognition, but something in you has activated a different frequency in his being. He begins to realize that there is a dimension of life that goes beyond what he can control or conquer. There is the dimension of feeling, of connecting, of making oneself vulnerable. Napoleon Hill spoke of the power of definite thought, and when a man truly falls in love, his thoughts reorganize around a new reality, the reality where you exist as an emotional priority. This is both frightening and fascinating at the same time. Frightening because he loses some of the control he has always had over his emotions. Fascinating because he discovers capacities for love he never knew he possessed. The questions he asks in this initial phase reveal his attempt to find bridges between his world and yours. He wants to understand not just who you are, but how the two of you could create something beautiful together. It is the beginning of an emotional healing process for him as well, the healing of emotional loneliness, of the hardness he may have developed over the years, of the disconnection from himself. As the process of falling in love deepens, his questions evolve into more intimate and revealing territories. You will begin to notice that he asks about your past experiences, but not in an invasive or possessive way. There is a genuine curiosity to understand your emotional journey. How did you overcome difficult times? Or what has taught you the most about yourself? These inquiries come from a place of deep respect and a desire to understand the strong woman you have become. He is trying to map out not only your history, but the wisdom you carry, the scars that have turned into strength, the moments of falling that taught you how to fly. A man in love intuitively recognizes that to truly love someone, he must honor the entire journey that led that person to the present moment. Napoleon Hill taught us about the importance of harmony in human relationships, and when a man is falling in love, he seeks this harmony through deep understanding. He wants to know your fears, not to judge them, but to be a safe harbor when they appear. He wants to know your joys, not just to share in them, but to become someone who helps multiply them. One of the most revealing questions he can ask is about your core values. What is really important to you in life? When a man asks this question with his eyes shining with genuine interest, he is signaling that he wants to align his life with what is sacred to you. It's not about losing his identity, but about expanding his reality to include what is precious to the woman who has captured his heart. Also, observe how he asks about your future, but in a way that's different from casual conversations. It's not, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" but rather, "How do you imagine a truly fulfilling life?" He is trying to understand not just your plans, but your essence, your deepest values, the quality of life that would make your heart sing with happiness. This process of questioning also represents a form of emotional healing for him. Many men grow up learning to compartmentalize feelings, to solve problems rather than feel them deeply. But when he genuinely falls in love, he needs to develop emotional muscles that may have atrophied. Asking these intimate questions forces him to connect with his own sensitivity, with his capacity to nurture and care. When a man is truly falling in love, you will notice a fascinating shift in his thought patterns, which is directly reflected in the questions he asks. He begins to inquire about seemingly simple things that reveal an internal revolution. What makes you feel truly cared for? Or, how can I make you smile when you're having a tough day? These questions arise from a profound reorganization in his mind. Napoleon Hill spoke about how our dominant thoughts shape our reality, and when a man falls in love, his dominant thoughts completely reorganize. Before, perhaps he thought primarily about personal goals, professional achievements, individual accomplishments. Now, a significant part of his mental space is dedicated to understanding how he can contribute to your happiness and well-being. This transformation represents a powerful form of personal growth. He is learning to think collaboratively instead of just competitively. He is discovering that there is a deep joy in being the source of joy for someone he loves. This requires an expansion of his emotional capacity, an evolution of his masculinity, to include aspects of care and nurturing that he may have never deeply explored. Notice when he asks about your daily routines, but in an affectionate way. What does a perfect day look like for you? Or, what gives you energy when you're tired? He is not trying to control your life, but to understand the natural rhythm of your being so that he can harmonize with it. He is learning your emotional language, your codes of love, your subtle needs. A particularly revealing question is when he asks about your moments of solitude. What do you miss the most when you're alone? This shows that he wants to become not just a companion, but the presence that fills the empty spaces in your soul. He is offering to be part of the solution to any sense of incompleteness you might carry. This process of transforming thought patterns is also a journey of self-love for him. Many men grow up with the idea that loving deeply is synonymous with weakness, but when he genuinely falls in love, he discovers that true love requires immense strength, the strength of vulnerability, of surrender, of trust. He is learning to love the version of himself that emerges when he is with you. One of the most fascinating aspects of this process is how genuine love for someone can awaken self-love in a man. When he is truly falling in love, you will begin to notice questions that reveal a new relationship with himself. What do you see in me that attracts you? Or, how can I be a better version of myself? These questions are born from a deep place of personal transformation. Napoleon Hill taught that love is one of the most powerful forces for human development, and this manifests uniquely in the masculine journey. When a man genuinely falls in love, he begins to see himself through the eyes of the woman he loves, and this often reveals qualities in himself that he didn't recognize or value. He might ask, "What makes you proud to be with me?" This isn't vanity or insecurity. It's an awakening to aspects of himself that have gained new meaning through love. Perhaps he always saw his sensitivity as a weakness, but through your eyes, he discovers it is a strength. Perhaps he considered his kindness to be something common, but he realizes it is a rare gift that you value deeply. This process represents a profound form of emotional healing. Many men carry old wounds related to not feeling good enough, valued, or understood. When a special woman sees genuine qualities in them and reflects them back with love, it can heal decades of self-criticism and self-doubt. He is learning to love himself through the experience of being loved by you. His questions also reveal a desire for growth. How can I support you better? Or what can I learn from you? This shows that he doesn't see the relationship as a final destination, but as a path of continuous evolution. He wants to grow not just to win you over, but to become the man who deserves the love you offer. A particularly touching question that may arise is, how do you manage to see me in such a beautiful way? This reveals that he is beginning to question the limiting narratives he may have created about himself. He is discovering that true love has the power to transform not only how we see the other person, but how we see ourselves. The self-love that awakens in this process is not narcissism or arrogance, but a genuine and caring acceptance of his own humanity. He is learning that he deserves love, that he has intrinsic value, that his unique qualities are gifts to the world. This creates a virtuous cycle. The more he loves himself in a healthy way, the more capable he becomes of loving you fully and generously. As the process of falling in love matures, his questions evolve to an even deeper level of emotional integration. You will start to notice that he asks about your future together, but in a way that reveals a genuine emotional commitment. How do you imagine we can grow together? Or, what kind of partnership do you dream of building? These questions represent a crucial milestone in his emotional evolution. Napoleon Hill spoke about the importance of harmonious collaboration, and when a man asks these questions, he is signaling that he has moved from seeing the relationship as something he needs to conquer or maintain, to seeing it as something you create together, day after day. A particularly revealing question is when he asks about your personal challenges. How can I help you overcome what limits you? This demonstrates that he not only accepts your imperfections, but wants to be an active part of your growth process. It's not about fixing you, it's about being by your side as you become the best version of yourself. This stage represents a deep emotional maturity. He is integrating different aspects of himself, the provider and the caregiver, the strong and the sensitive, the independent and the interdependent. He is learning that true masculinity is not about not needing anyone, but about choosing someone special to share life with, in all its complexities and beauty. Observe when he asks about your deepest fears. What scares you about surrendering completely? This question reveals that he is also facing his own fears about vulnerability and surrender. He wants to create a safe space where you can both be completely authentic, where you can grow both individually and as a couple. A fascinating dimension of this process is how he begins to ask questions about the emotional legacy you can build together. What kind of love do we want to leave as an example? Or how can we become better people through each other? This reveals that he is thinking of the relationship not just as a source of personal happiness, but as a transformative force that can positively impact the world around you. The personal growth that happens in this phase is extraordinary. He is developing emotional intelligence, learning to communicate complex feelings, discovering the courage required for true intimacy. He is becoming more complete as a human being, integrating aspects of himself that he may have neglected for years. We arrive at the deepest point of this transformative journey, where his questions reveal a complete synthesis of everything the process of falling in love has awakened in his soul. At this stage, you will notice that he asks questions that transcend the personal and touch the universal. How can our love heal the wounds we carry? Or, in what way can we create something bigger than ourselves together? These inquiries are born from a deep understanding that true love is a creative and healing force. Napoleon Hill taught that when two minds harmonize in a common purpose, they create a third mind, more powerful than either of the two individually. When a man reaches the point of asking these questions, he is intuitively recognizing this universal truth. A question that may emerge in this phase is particularly touching. How can I love you in a way that heals your past wounds? This reveals that he not only accepts your history, but wants to be an active part of your emotional healing. He understands that true love has therapeutic power, that it can literally rewrite the painful narratives of the past by creating new experiences of safety, value, and belonging. This is the moment when you will perceive the complete transformation in his thought patterns. You will begin to ask questions about how you can support each other's dreams without losing your individuality. How can we be a team without ceasing to be ourselves? This demonstrates a rare emotional maturity, the understanding that healthy love expands our identity rather than diminishes it. The most profound question that can arise is about your joint purpose. Why did we come into each other's lives? When a man reaches this level of questioning, he is acknowledging that you didn't meet by chance, but because there is a greater purpose being served through this union. He is seeing the relationship as part of a larger plan for growth, healing, and contribution to the world. The emotional healing that occurs through this love is extraordinary for both of you. He is healing wounds related to toxic masculinity, the pressure to always be strong, and emotional disconnection. You are being invited to heal wounds related to not feeling worthy of genuine love, to patterns of superficial relationships, to fears of vulnerability. This is the final synthesis. A man who asks these deep questions is not just falling in love with you, he is falling in love with the highest version of himself that emerges in the presence of your love. And you, by recognizing these questions for what they truly are being invited to fall in love with the wise, powerful, and loving woman you have always been, but who perhaps only now is being truly seen and celebrated. The transformative love born from this process is not just romantic. It is evolutionary, healing, and transcendent. It is a love that not only unites two people, but elevates them to more complete versions of themselves, creating a positive force that radiates far beyond the couple, touching all the lives they encounter along the way.